Hey guys, Jonathan was here for JM Sports 100 and the JM Sports Show. How is it going? I'm here to make college football picks for Friday, September 30th, 2016. We're off to a good start once again on the week as there were two games yesterday. Both picks were made on Facebook and on Twitter. We are 2-0 as we had number 6 Houston beating UConn. They did that 42-14. We also had Texas Tech beating Kansas. They did that 55-19. So we got the two wins there, but quickly, just going back to what we did last week and last Saturday, a good time there as we went 42-11 on Saturday. Overall, we went 46-11 on the week, so very, very happy about that. Um, as you guys know, my goal when it comes to the college football week is to lose uh, at the very most 10. I don't like to lose more than 10. That was the closest we gotten to that goal last week, so we will look to uh, carry forth with that. But we're going to need a good day today for that to happen, and that includes a very, very tough matchup, which we will talk about in just a second. So, with all of that right there, we have a record now in college football this year of 233 and 52. We are 3,686 wins, 1,197 losses is the overall record. And let's get to the action for today. The night starts off with a Pac-12 matchup between 7th ranked Stanford and 10th ranked Washington. Now, I'm actually going to talk about this game a little bit, which is something I don't normally go in too in depth about college games, but I'm going to here with this one just a little bit. Everyone's pretty high on the Huskies, and rightfully so. They have a very good team. They have a fast team. They have a good defense. But one thing about the Huskies is they haven't really played much yet as far as competition. Okay, yeah, they're 3-0, but if you look at who they've played, they beat Rutgers, or 4-0, pardon me. But they beat Rutgers, Idaho, Presbyterian, and then their toughest competition they've played so far this year was Arizona last week in a game that they almost lost. They were able to hang on to a 35-28 win. And so they're facing a Stanford team that has played a little bit of a tougher schedule, and it'll be interesting to see. This will be the true test as to whether or not the Huskies are for real. You look at who Stanford's played. Stanford has big time wins. Over by big time, I mean they were able to do it convincingly. A 13-point win against Kansas State, a 17-point win against USC. Even though USC is kind of a mess right now, or it's kind of an understatement. And then they have a win on the road against UCLA last week, where they won 22-13. So the competition has definitely been a little bit tougher for Stanford thus far. No, I'm not saying that Stanford is leaps and bounds better than Washington. One thing, this is going to be a close game, I think. One thing Washington has got to do if they want to win this game, obviously, is they've got to be able to stop Christian McCaffrey. They really struggled to stop Arizona in the running game last week. And Christian McCaffrey is going to be looking for a bounce back this week as he was fairly quiet in the game against UCLA. So I expect him to make a little more noise than what he did against UCLA and have a pretty decent game. I think this game could come down to the wire. Um, I wouldn't be totally surprised to see a Husky upset here. I'm not going to call for it though. I'm going to go with Stanford to get the win. Stanford has won something like 15 out of the last 16 on the road in conference. So Stanford pretty good on the road. Weird things always seem to happen on Thursdays and Fridays, so that'll be something to keep an eye on there. But I do think Stanford will get the win. And then in our second game for today, we have Toledo taking on BYU. By the way, the Stanford Washington game, for those of you interested, 9 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN. At 10:15 Eastern Time on ESPN2, we've got Toledo taking on BYU. This is a game that BYU really needs. And that's no shot at Toledo, but this is a game that BYU should be able to handle. But you look at what BYU has been through this year. They are 1-3. They've lost 3 straight games, and it's all been by a total of 9 points. I believe if I did my math correctly here. Yeah, 9 points. So, um, they won very, very tight at Arizona in week one. They lost by one in Utah, in Utah. Then they faced UCLA at home, lost by 3, and then lost by 3 at home to West Virginia in a shootout last week. So this is obviously a big time situation for BYU. This is a game that obviously they probably feel pretty confident in winning. I would imagine. Just looking at the spread actually for this game is only about 4.5. So, but I would think if you're BYU, you do have to feel fairly decent. Um, you look at Toledo. Toledo is scoring more points per game than BYU and giving up less. But really, if you look at the competition that these two teams have played, Toledo is 3-0, but they've got wins against Arkansas State, Maine, and Fresno. So nothing too terribly impressive there. I think BYU bounces back nicely with a win that they would love to have. So, all right, guys, that is going to do it for me. And NFL picks will be up later today, one game at a time, one game per video. So it takes a little bit longer, but it'll be kind of easier to do at the same time. So, all right, guys, don't forget to like the JM Sports Show page on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Links as always are down in the description. And that is going to do it for me. I am Jonathan Mozart for JM Sports 100 and the JM Sports Show, and I will see you guys later.